So today I'm going to talk about really interesting things. So majorly whenever I talk or speak, I ideally deep dive into tech concepts. But I thought that hey, I mean, Copilot is all about prompting, right? Then why not? Should we just focus on prompting and how can we utilize these prompts? So I can say prompt is a new coding technique, right? Prompt is itself is a vast stream. Prompt engineering, we might have heard about it for many times now. So I thought, why not give it a try and just, talk about prompts in detail, how you can utilize prompts, how you can write prompt, um, how prompts really play an important aspect in your Copilot journey and where all Copilots you'll find in Microsoft 365 apps and services. So that is what today I'm going to talk about. But before that, definitely this whole session will be a live demonstration. We'll go through each and every application. We'll go through the Copilots which are available as of now, and we'll start writing prompts. But apart from that, I have few slides wherein I've just added a couple of screenshots of how Copilot looks like in each app and services and how you can get started with prompt engineering in terms of how you can write more clarified prompts and what is needed from you if you want to get started with writing prompts. So, yes, a short introduction about myself. I'm Shruti Shah, and I have almost close to 7 years of work experience working in Microsoft technology. I worked across Microsoft 365 apps and services, um, be it SharePoint framework development or Teams app development, also bits and pieces in Azure infrastructure as a code, resource-based automation, identity, and Power Platform as a whole. So I've worked majorly on Microsoft stack itself. Let's get started. So the agenda is very, very simple, and I wanted to have this kind of agenda wherein probably if you have any questions, you can come down to me. You can drop in a chat, and just we can have a great session together. It's not just me talking about it. You can just ask your questions as well. So I'll just give an overview about Copilot, like hey, meet this Copilot, what exactly Copilot is, because not everyone is aware about Copilot. Maybe some are yet not aware about it. So I'll just give an introduction about Copilot and in which Microsoft services you can use this Copilot as of now. Understand what you can do with Copilot. Now, this is important. We all keep talking about Copilot prompts, just write down a prompt, create an email, draft an email, summarize, etc. But understanding what you can do with Copilot is utmost important and how you can use or how you can start using Copilot across services, be it Outlook, Word, PowerPoint, Teams, M365, etc. And another a nice thing which I like about prompts is how you can create your prompts. Not just create it, but also share. Create a community, maybe either in your team or with your fellow or teammates or friends. You can just share your prompt so that it is not just with you. You are showcasing your talent or your great prompt creativity with others as well so that they can utilize and get the most out of it. So this is what today's agenda is and how you can do that. We'll just quickly get started. Before that, different SKUs of Copilot, where you can find Copilot. So as you can see, there are different types. You will see Copilot Pro, which is for home users. There is Copilot for Microsoft 365, and there is Copilot in Windows and Copilot in Edge. So taking a look at each one by one, Copilot Pro, as you can see, is available for individual users, and it is available in only few of the local regions. So you can read about it in Microsoft documentation, etc., which you locals it is supported. Now, for if you want to get started with Copilot Pro, so let's say I have my Microsoft license, which I am charging like this. That is my individual license. Still, you can get Copilot. That is what they are saying. That is called as Copilot Pro. And what all functionalities or features you get there? You get GPT-4 Turbo, you get DALI, wherein you can generate your images either through Designer or through Copilot itself. Also, you get Copilot through in the web applications of Word, PowerPoint, Excel, all of those as well. So that is what Copilot Pro is about. And keep a note for it is for home users. So Copilot in Outlook only supports Microsoft accounts with outlook.com, hotmail.com, or live.com. It won't allow you with gmail.com at all if you have your accounts, individual accounts based on Gmail. So it won't allow that. Next, Copilot for Microsoft 365. I think this probably I'm going to cover a lot today. So when I talk about Copilot for Microsoft 365, you have to, probably you need these licenses either for business or for enterprise. So if you are talking about business license, licenses, which all SKUs you need if you want to have Copilot. But definitely you have to keep that in mind that Copilot is an add-on. So let's say I have Microsoft 365 E3, E5, F1, and F3. You won't get access to Copilot. You need to buy Copilot services apart from your existing license as well. So this is what Copilot for Microsoft 365 is, and we're going to talk about in detail like what offerings it provides, etc. So I'll skip this. Copilot in Windows and Copilot in Microsoft Edge. So now Copilot in Windows, as you can see from the screenshot, soon you'll be getting Copilot in Windows available across our systems, wherein you can get started with the Windows based activities. You can give prompts to Copilot and it will just perform, for example, related to the file explorer or managing your albums, videos, etc. Anything related to Windows, you can do it through Windows Copilot. Now Copilot in Microsoft Edge. So this is, a slightly, I can say, very thin gap to understand Copilot in M365 and Copilot in Edge. So people ideally confuse with, what Copilot, whatever we see in Binge, that is the Copilot we're talking about when we talk about M365. No, it is different. So Copilot in Edge is the Copilot wherein it offers you for your enterprise or for your uh, personal usage. You have that tab wherein you can say either if you would have logged in with your organization account, so that whenever you select the tab of organization or enterprise, you can easily get the data from your organization. Now whenever I switch it to the other tab, which is not organization based, then you can search the results from across your search engine. Just like Google, you can get the results from there as well, and you can generate content from there as well. While if you are in organization tab, then you have to be rest assured that all your content will never go outside your organization. It will stay within your organization itself. Hence, whenever you're querying anything related to clients or anything, any jargons which you use in your organization, you'll be easily able to find it. So that is what Copilot in Edge is. It offers the organization enterprise level and personal scope as well, similar to other search engines. But it just not gives you the information like searching, indexing, etc. It can also help you generate some information as well. So that is what Copilot is in Edge. And maybe, if I'm not wrong, the next session after me is going to talk about Copilot in Edge in brief. So maybe you can relate it more there. Now, let's meet Copilot. I'm sure you all are excited to meet Copilot. So where all I can find Copilot? So as you can see, there are a bunch of application services you can find Copilot at. Either it can be Word, PowerPoint, OneNote, Loop, Outlook, Excel, Teams, Windows, Whiteboard, Forms, Viva Services, Stream, and Microsoft 365 Copilot is your separate Copilot as well. My God, these are a lot of copilots to take away, right? So let's deep dive into each one of them. Now, few copilots have some, I can't just say all copilots are for productivity based, right? There are few wherein you can enhance your productivity, like for example if you are writing a draft in Word or PowerPoint, etc. But there are few which enhances your creativity. Maybe you are creating some slide deck wherein you need a great presentation, so that is where your creativity also lies. So that is how I bifurcated how you can enhance your productivity with Copilot. One is this, using your Microsoft Copilot itself, wherein you can combine the power of LLMs with your work content and give some context to it, and it can easily, for example, I am searching for the file which I don't know where I have saved at, but it is on my OneDrive or somewhere in the cloud. So you can easily find that is, you get your details within seconds. So it will help you speed up your work. That is what productivity is about. So this is one way in which you can enhance the productivity. Next is Teams Meeting Copilot. I think this is the one of the best features, and so far whatever reviews I've heard from my team, this is one of the bestest Copilot. It will help you in productivity like next level. So at times in our calendar we come across few of the meeting conflicts. So it is absolutely fine that you skip one meeting and you join the other, which takes your priority, right? So how you can go to that, how you can see that meeting? Previously, we used to see those stream videos which are recorded, and those stream videos are kind of 1 hour long or 30 minutes, 45 minutes long. You have to be present throughout that video so that you don't miss a point. Though we had transcriptions available, etc., but still you need something which you can just give, which just gives you the information at a high level that hey, this was the meeting, this were the tasks which were discussed about you, or etc. So that is where Copilot comes into the picture in meetings, when it helps you to quickly catch up with what happened, were there any important tasks, what clients discuss, or are there any action items for you? So that is what it gives you as whole in a summary. You can get it from Meeting Copilot. Next, similarly, catch up in a flash. This is summary. In Outlook, whenever you would have such threads wherein that thread goes beyond 10 count, right? That email has 10 threads. Now, if someone has just tagged you in right now and there are 10 below threads, how will you catch up? You have to read each email to understand the context of what this email is about, what is expected from you, etc. So that summary by given by the Copilot is super useful. You can get all those useful information. It will combine all the 10 threads and it will give you the summary that, hey, this is the context of this email. This is where the people are talking about it, where your input is needed. That's it. You're good to go. Next. The another aspect is how you as an individual can enhance your creativity. Something called as writing. Probably, either you are in marketing, sales, or whenever you create content, any content creator. So writing comes into the picture. Either I want to create a draft, either I want to create a business requirement document or a summary meeting feedback or a follow-up email, or I want to generate a draft blog or any kind of content generation it can be. So that is where wherever you are writing, that is where your creativity lies in. So you have to give the prompt in such a manner that the co-pilot understands what is your expectation. So that is where your creativity lies in. Similarly, in PowerPoint presentations, if you want to create a very engaging presentation and you are creating it for VPs or some people where their interest is needed or where you want to catch their interest, then maybe you have to just create the presentation. Just go ahead, hit prompt in Copilot, and it will create slides for you. And then maybe you can just tweak in each slide and make it more better using Copilot prompts as well. Next, Excel. So in Excel, probably as of now, we would have seen that majorly a lot of work is done in Excel. We create charts, powerful charts, etc. Also in Excel. So you can just do that same activity. Just give the Copilot a prompt, and you can give that, hey, this is the table. Give me the sales graph or using this table, and it will give it to you. Another thing, I'll come to it at the end. Responsible AI. Next, I think I'll go about this in the demonstration. I don't want you to take through the GIFs which I've added. Maybe this is just for reference. Now, important part. Before we go to the demonstration, I want to cover something about prompts. Like that is why we are here. We want to discuss in detail about prompts, right? How you can enhance your prompt skills. So, what is art of writing prompt? It is nothing new. It has always been there. So, let's say I am communicating with my teammate and I need some information from my team. So whenever you do that interaction, either through verbal Teams meeting or through chat, you write that specific thing, right? And that is called as prompt. Whatever you are conversing with, whomsoever you are conversing with, I'm not talking about in general greeting information. I'm talking about whenever an information is required from that team mate or project team, etc. That particular thing which you write, text, that is called as prompt. Now, what you do? So let's say before Copilot, what we used to do whenever I am onboarded to any project and I want some information about, hey, project XYZ, and let's say project Mars, okay? And I've been onboarded to project Mars and I need some information. Where is the project Mars details sitting? What are the files? Who is the point of contact, etc. What I used to do, I will type into that teammate that, hey, can you just help me get the files related to project Mars, and also if possible, can you give me the point of contacts whom I can contact if I stuck with something. This exact thing which I just told, you can write it as prompt. Now, in my prompt, what I did, I have set the expectations. Expectations means what I need. Just like from any other teammate or any of the project team you're talking about, or in any conversation over call. Similarly, you are asking Copilot that, hey, these are my expectations. I need file, I need information about project XYZ. You also give some context to it that, hey, I'm talking about not all file, I'm talking about files from project Mars. You gave some context to it. Now you can also add more context like project Mars, data engineering team, project Mars, uh, anything like you're talking about M365 team or maybe architecture team. You give more context to it. What is the goal? I need some information. That is the goal. And source, if you have any source that similar to this, fine, just provide me some information, or similar to that conversation, or just give some reference if you have. But if you don't have reference, still it is fine. Ideally, your prompt should consist of the context, expectations, and goal. These three are at most important. So now let's say I don't have source, but for, let's say I want to write a blog. Another example. There I can give the source that this is the Microsoft documentation and I want to write a blog, but don't copy as it is. Just add some more example scenarios to it, and you give elaborate those scenarios whichever you have in mind in the prompt. So that is where source comes into the picture. Only when you have some reference, then give source. If not, then all your prompts should have expectation, goals, and context, so that your Copilot knows what you need. Okay, that is what the art of prompt is. Coming to the next slide. This will help you understand more. So here's an example that includes goal, context, and expectations. As I said, source is optional. Only if you have something in reference, then good to give. If not, then it should work ideally this way as well. Draft an outline of a training manual about time management. So now I've defined that what I need. Drafting an outline of a training manual about time management. Now what should this be? This is my goal. I want to achieve this. How I can achieve this? By giving some context. Now, what is the context? Our audience is professionals who work in a hybrid environment and constantly need to attend virtual meetings and meet deadlines. So, this is the context which I'm giving that, hey, you have to draft, but keep this in mind. And how that document tone should be, because I've already given that the audience is professionals. So, my document can be bit friendly, but it should not be more formal because I want to generate a training manual. So this is how in 3 bits you have defined that prompt. Now, whenever you go ahead and start giving prompts, just keep this in mind. Do you have a goal? Yes. Do you need to give context? Yes, you need. Expectations? It's fine if you give or not. My expectation is already given here. I want to draft an outline training manual. Also, the tone should be friendly and suggestive. I've given that expectation. But if you don't have expectation, so let's say when I'm drafting an email to VP, I don't want that email should go in a friendly tone. It should be a strict formal representation of whatever I want whatever I'm talking about. Hence, you have to give the tone to your context as well. So this is the sample prompt. Coming to the next. Now, what you can expect from copilots, like why and when you should use copilots. So copilot can be used either, it can help you. You can ask questions and it will reply back with some response, or you can generate the content, or you can just, well, be prepared with yourself. So there are different kinds of things which you can do with copilot. We'll see in copilot lab. Another thing, few points to keep in mind while you are drafting your copilot prompt. Whenever you draft your prompt, review and verify your responses. So let's say I've written the prompt, Copilot gave me the response, but it is not always likely that what the response which I've got is correct. No, it is not 100% surety, right? You might get 80 or 70% close results, but still you need more correct results, or maybe that information is altogether incorrect. Then definitely it is your authority that, hey, you give that feedback to that Copilot response, that like you have that like buttons, right? Like and dislike. That's how Copilot, the LLMs will know whether, hey, this generated response was exactly intended or no. So verify your responses whenever you get from Copilot. And using the same prompt multiple times can result in different responses. I think I'm not sure whether you all would have experienced this or not, but I myself have observed this. So even if I write the exact same Copilot prompt, it will still generate the different results. So it depends. I mean, this is the Copilot model or LLM model which we are using, but you have to keep in mind that if you keep using the same prompt, it is likely that you will generate different responses. Or mostly, slightly, the deviation is not very much different, but there are few percentage deviation which you will find in the response. Next, whenever you write prompts, it is strictly advised that you should use an ethical way of writing. Just give the prompt in a respectful manner, and also make sure that you are following responsible AI principles, because this is utmost important. Whatever we are feeding in, that is what the model is going to give the response back to us. So whenever you type in any prompt, or whenever even you would have observed, because if you would have seen either in your Copilot in Edge or Copilot in any of the apps and services, the Copilots are built with responsible AI framework so that whenever a user is typing any irrelevant or nonsensical thing, it will never respond you back. It will just give you some response in a slightly that, hey, I don't have the response for this, something like that. So it is your duty as well that whenever you write prompts, write in the most ethical, respectful manner, keeping in mind the responsible AI principles. Coming to the next, we talked about how we can write prompts. We need goal, expectation, and context. Source can be optional. But let's say I want to get better results with prompt. How I can do that? So still, if you want better results, there are ways you can get better results, including details, creating a structure, giving the positive interactions instructions, and iterating and regenerating it. So these are the some of the ways in which you can get better results. So now when I say include details, so just it is similar to giving more context. It is nothing new, but in addition to your goal, as I mentioned, consider including some context. Explain how Copilot should respond to your to fulfill your request, and Copilot will return back more elaborative response to you. So these are few of the examples. Maybe I don't want you to go through these slides. This is just for your reference. Next, structure. How I can structure my prompts. So let's say I want to get something from my project team. Whenever I'm talking to them, what we do, we structure our text. I want this, next step is this, next step is this. So structures in prompt is important. The order in which you are writing those text, that is important. If let's that is what it is saying about structure your prompts for better results. When it comes to prompt, order matters. So when we are speaking, it's fine that I mess up the order sometime, but when you are giving the instructions, this is kind of your code. First execute this, then execute that, right? That thing still stays same here in prompt engineering. Structure is important. And how that structure is important, to give that example, there are a few examples here. Craft a blog post outlining the benefits of meditation. Meditation has been a practice for, that is the more context. For instance, mindfulness meditation. So I can't write mindfulness at the top. I need to give the context what meditation is, and then the type of meditation is mindfulness. So that is the order of structure which we have given. Next, positive instructions. So as much as possible, provide positive instructions. So Copilot is built to take action. So telling Copilot what to do rather than what not to do is more effective. That is what I said. You have to give Copilot the instructions of what you need. It's not like, hey, don't do this for me. You can do that, but only when, so let's say I want to generate the content, but keep in mind that you don't generate it for some other services. That is what you can do. So this is similar to if else conditioning. Do that. Next, iterate and regenerate. So often the first result is it the final or best response? That is what we discussed some time back. So you keep just improving your prompt and you will get more clear results. Okay, I'll come to share your prompts at the end. Now let's go ahead with the Copilot in general, wherein you can see Copilot live in action. So I am in my, let me go back to the portal.office.com. So if you can see, this is my portal.office.com. This is the home of our Microsoft 365 portal. There is a Copilot here. If I hit Copilot, what all I can do? I can just stay up to date with my tasks. I can ask Copilot to write it for me. But this Copilot is for Microsoft 365. Now, here you can, let me just go ahead and see what additional things it provides. If I hit that add button, it tells me that, hey, I can get the files, I can get the people in the organization, also your meetings and emails. So this is the beauty of Copilot in M365. Now, when I talk about Copilot here, let me just go to this Copilot. Okay. Maybe I can open this Copilot. Accept. Just a second. So here in your Copilot, if you see this prompt box, you can't access the details from that user. You can't access the meeting information. It will not help you get the information that, hey, this file, this person shared with me this file. Do you have that information? No. Why? Because Microsoft 365 Copilot is grounded with graph data. So it is directly connected to your graph, similar to that graph mesh you would have seen. It can connect to people, meeting, teams, Word, files, OneDrive, etc. Same thing. It is built on top of graph. It is grounded with that data. Hence, you can get the data easily in this, while not here. If I ask, share some files from, let it respond, and we'll go here. Now, what I can do here is get, I will just get me all my meeting invites from slash Shruti. Hit enter. So what I'm trying to elaborate here is how you are getting the information of your Microsoft 365 stack. Oh, there are no meeting invites. Okay, maybe because this tenant is fresh and new. Get me all my emails. I think it will respond. Till that time, let's see. hmm I want to show you this difference. Okay. So now I am here in my Microsoft 365 Copilot. And what you can see here are the emails from Shruti. These were some of the emails and these were the presentations which were shared. Also, there are the references for each email. If I hit here, it will take me back to my email. See how beautiful it is because it is grounded with graph data. Now, same thing. If I just asked information about Shruti and it just gave me some random details from internet, which is not at all relevant, right? It will not give the information of your uh, Microsoft 365 files, etc., because it is not grounded on graph. Here it is grounded. So that is the difference which I wanted to show. Coming back to our M365 Copilot again, what next you can do? You can say summarize the Copilot Day presentation email. So I've just attached one presentation, and that presentation is exactly this presentation which I've attached, just to show you the details. Let's see. Okay, it has summarized and it has given me that, hey, this email is from this person. I can get the contact information of that person as well. And the presentation is about Copilot Day and it talks about Copilot experiences across apps and services, the prompts. It's so nice. I mean, it gave some information and it again referencing to that email. It will just reference back to that email itself. So this is what you can do here. It is not just restricted to people information file. You can also talk about if there is any file residing in my OneDrive. Let's just ask, is can you get me? I don't know, but I remember that I did attach some prompting guide in my this tenant. Can you get me the prompt guide document? Let's see if it is able to fetch. It is going through all my documents. I found several documents that might contain, and it has given all the most relevant document here. And I just created this. It is picking up from my tenant, getting started with Microsoft 365 Copilot, and this is it. That's it. So it was able to find some similar document, and hence it gave me this information. And here you see these two beautiful things, which helps Copilot and the team who is working on it to know, understand that, hey, whether the response that was generated was correct, the response which was generated from AI was harmful, or how was it. You can just hit the like up or down based on the response or satisfaction. This is what Copilot in M365 is about. And you can just find a lot of prompts. How you can find that? There is this prompt library. And if you want to see more detailed prompt, we'll see in Copilot Lab. I think I have that open already. I'm not sure. Yeah. So this is the Copilot Lab. All you have to do is prompts to go and hit prompts to try. And where do you want to use or try prompts? That is important. In which application? So you can just search by Copilot for M365 and you'll see all the prompts. What you can do with prompt, you can catch up, you can track your tasks, you can get started. If you have missed something, you can just check on that, decode acronyms. You can just help get the help of Copilot to write something, generate ideas, boost your knowledge, etc. So this is all what you can do. And let's say if I want to track task and I want to consume this, how I can do that? I can copy this. I can go to my Copilot, paste it here. Let's hit, because I did not had any email conversations for last month, so it is not able to get me the information. I couldn't retrieve that specific email. However, I can help you with the summarizing key points. That is what it can help you with. But if you want to try again, just hit it. And if you feel that hey, there was some conversation, but you don't recollect exactly, and Copilot should get that. If you hit try again, it will regenerate the response. So this is what you can do. You can consume the already built-in prompts, which are right created for you in the Copilot lab, and you can use it. So let's say I want to use the prompt for Word document. I want to understand quickly, or if you want to draft something, you can do all of those things with Word, with Outlook, with Excel, Teams, etc. For each and every app, there are few Copilots which you can directly consume it and just consume it by copying it, or you can share this prompt as well with your teammates if you find that hey, this was useful and this can be used by multiple other people as well, then just share it with them. Coming back to our another aspect, we'll go to our Teams platform. And Teams has its own Copilot. So this is the Copilot wherein you can do similar thing which we did for Copilot in M365, but here it has more grounded data from your teams. You can get the team's information, the channel information, the calendar, etc. And if I go to my any of the teams meeting, I think I created something. Let me just hit. If not, then I can create a new one. Just just creating one for today, 12 to 1. And hey, this meeting is for Copilot a presentation. Just we'll write this much. Send. I don't need to add myself because I'm the organizer. And I can just save this. It should create for me week. And if I join this meeting, just don't allow, otherwise it will interrupt. Join now. And you see this Copilot here. Just another thing. Until and unless I start my transcription, recording is fine, transcription is needed. Until and unless I do this, my Copilot, okay, just confirm the language. I will not be able to, are you able to hear me, right? I think. Okay, yeah, I'm audible. Once you start transcription, you can do a lot of things with Copilot. So whenever you go to any of the meetings, the transcription, enable the transcription. If just take the consent of all the team members, if they are fine with it, they allow the transcription, and then once the transcription is enabled, even if you are not part of the meeting, if your name was discussed or anything, you can just take a glance at it, and you are good to have that whole meeting details even after the meeting, or in between the meeting as well. Whatever you're discussing, you can take that up, and you can just shoot here, and you will get that information in no time. So this is what Copilot in Teams meeting, which I was talking about. We just saw that in one of the slides, that picture. This is how you can enable it, and you can utilize the most of it as well. I'll leave this, and I'll come back to the another aspect in Teams channel. So let me just. Oh, I don't have any team. My bad. I would have shown Teams channel as well. So in your teams, you inside your channels, you have Copilot where you can get the similar channel relevant information. You can catch up, or you can see if you have missed some information. If you were trying to find something, then you'll get it in the Teams channel as well. Next, coming to the Word. So let's say just before our meeting, I just asked Copilot to write a blog for me, and this will be a draft blog. And the blog intention was to create an M365 comprehensive guide, which includes all the apps and services. So if you see that this is the Copilot prompt box, and you can see the Copilot here as well. from the left navigation, from the top ribbon bar. If I just keep it, let me just create a new one. So this is my Copilot. I can ask Copilot, hey, can you help me draft a document which talks about the different kinds of coffee available in India region. Also specify the different kind of coffee beans. I will hit generate. I'm not given any reference, though there is an option to give reference. I'll show that prompt box in just a second after it is done generating the content. Let's just wait for a minute. And we could have also asked Copilot to generate in less than 200 words. We could have done that. Okay, that's fine. We can still improve. Okay, it is generating some content, different kinds of coffee in India, filter coffee. I can see instant coffee. Okay, nice. And if at any point of time you feel that, hey, this is too much content, I've got already what I needed, you can stop generating it as well. So now let's say I've already generated this content and I want to add a few more details in the same content. You feel free to add more context to it so that it will regenerate the same thing with more context which you've added. Add the famous coffee vendor available in India. Let's hit enter. I want more context. So it will generate again with more context which I've given. So let's see. Oh, nice. It is writing the same thing. Filter coffee. Okay. I need vendor details. Let's wait. Instant bean types. Okay. Let's wait and see if it is able to get the vendor. Okay. I think we'll have to read this whole content. But let's say I'm satisfied with this whole thing. I'll click to the Copilot panel and what were the different kind of coffees discussed. Let's hit enter. We'll keep this information so that we don't have to go through that whole paragraph and we'll get the information in sneak peek. Okay, it is pulling together. Oh, nice. So it just gave me a very small paragraph that these were the two kinds of coffee which were discussed, filter coffee, instant coffee, which are Indian specific, right? We in India ideally uh, deal with such kind of coffees, which is either filter or instant. And what were the different coffee beans? I'm not giving more context. I'm just asking questions based on the draft which it has generated. Let's see if it is able to pick it up. I can see some of the beans information, but we'll wait for Copilot to give the response. Nice. Arabica, Robusta, I could read it. Monsoon, Malabar, Mysore, Kent, and Mannar. So these were the different kind of beans which we discussed. And it is the see the beauty of Copilot. It is asking me and it is giving the suggestions that hey, do you want to know what is Monsoon Malabar, or do you want to know the difference between these two coffee beans? So this is the in general beauty of Copilot. You can just utilize it for creating or generating content as well. But as well as you can also get the information easily from the content by using Copilot panel. So this is what Copilot in Word is about. We'll go to Copilot in PowerPoint, keeping in mind the time. So this is the blank PowerPoint which I haven't done anything as of now. So I'll go to the Copilot and I'll ask Copilot to generate slide for me. And I'm going to generate it on the similar lines, coffee. Okay. Create a nice presentation for showcasing the different kinds of coffee in India. Also add the slides for each type of coffee bean. Hit enter. So let's see what it does. It will generate and it will generate very fast. I've already created some slides and it works in no time. And then all you have to do is just pick up that slide, use Copilot and make it more uh, using your creativity. You can enhance that slide more. Just wait for a second. Oh my God, I wouldn't have done this in at least this much time. This would have taken 10 minutes for me to generate this whole draft, whole PowerPoint. So now what it is saying is that, hey, a presentation is created, slide for each has been added, the slides have been organized as well. And if you would like, designer also helps other layout options you can consider. And the designer is the designer feature which we have in PowerPoint. So if you hit here, it will land you to the designer feature. So this is how it integrates all the existing features and still it will generate its new. So let's see how it generated. This is the Discover the Rich World of Indian Coffee with some pictures. I didn't tell Copilot that he had pictures as well. It did on its own. Presentation overview, what this presentation is about. Nice. Brief history of Indian coffee, coffee growing in which regions of India, the different kind of beans. We saw that the difference. What are the different type of beans? This is altogether a new coffee brewing one. Cultural significance, the filter coffee, espresso based, specialities of the coffees, and the conclusion. Oh wow! I mean, straight away, I can utilize this slide and I can pitch this to any of the coffee lover person. Still, I think I need to add some more slides on based on the different uh, region. I think Manar or let's say someone is into coffees from different region. I can ask Copilot, hey, add some pictures from that region, the coffees from that region. How is the weather condition? What all is needed if I want to go and start harvesting coffee? So those I can do based on the interest or based on the audience. But this is not bad, right? This is a really good presentation with decently added content along with pictures and see the flow of the presentation. It exactly fits to what a presentation should look like. Same, if you already have the presentation created, you can go to the Copilot panel and you can draft or write prompts, which will help you get the information from each slide. You can do the exact same thing which we did for Word. Coming back to the another app, which is Excel. Now here, all the data mindset comes into the picture. So now whenever I talk about Excel, this is ideally this small table will never be such small. It is like a very small table which I picked up from the internet just to showcase that if I have some data and if I want to work on this data, if I want to generate get some insights from the data, either in the form of some sales points or some budget or anything, or if I want to get the graphs built on some table, how I can do that. For that, you have to go to the Copilot. I just gave one prompt. Okay. So now it is telling me that, hey, I have the option to give you the response, but you have to select the table from where I can do that. So I'll have to pick this up and format it as table, just any random one. Okay, it's done. Now it can analyze. So let's do one thing. Can you get me all the names of the poisonous type? I'm just going to write this simple thing. So it will pick, you can do with filtering, sorting as well. But I just want to show you the capabilities of Copilot, what it can offer. We'll wait for it to get the response back. I think this could have been much easier if we just would have filtered. But still, it has given me back that, hey, these are the names for type 1 poison, or these are the names for type 2 poison. So now it is up to me which I want to utilize. Or if I just want to get the type 2 poisons, then what are the names? You can just elaborate more in the prompt. You can also uh, get back the data related to the numeric values which you added. You can also create the charts, etc. You can also get the insights that way as well from this Copilot in Excel. So this is what Copilot in Excel has to offer. We'll go back to OneNote. I want to showcase all the apps and services. So I'll be keeping it short. I'll just give it mm-mm, hit OK. And where is my Copilot? Oh, haven't they added it here? I think this is not in as of now in the web version. My bad. Okay, maybe I'll have to check on this, but I can't see the Copilot here. Maybe it is not available in this version or some setting has to be enabled. But let's go back to the another important thing. We have checked about Word, we have checked about PowerPoint, Excel, also M365 and Teams. So this is overall majorly what you can do with Copilot. Where next you can find is in Outlook, and that is also a good important thing. In the Outlook, you will have two options. So let me just go back to my one of the emails. So this is my email. Here I can see some information, but you see that there is one important line which you can see at the top, summary by Copilot. So this is a very small email, but if I just hit summary, it provides me the summary that, hey, this email was with regards to the art of prompt. The file includes some scenarios. The recipient finds the file useful, informative, and you invited the recipient to share the feedback. So this is what the email was about, and it is giving you summary. So similarly, if you want to get the summary of that long thread which I was talking about, you can do that. If I just go to my sent emails or any of the email thing, you will find the summary by Copilot in all the emails as well. So this is the summary. If I hit generate, so this just saying that, hey, there was the loop component which was created in this thing. That's it. If I go to the other email, this has some information, and this is providing me with some summary, and it is also giving me some references, and the references are from those email. It is showing that email itself below. So this is what summaries in email is about. Now let's say if I want to generate a new email. Now in this new email, you will see that there is a Copilot option. You can either draft with Copilot, or you can just coaching by Copilot, which is it will help you give the suggestions to make your. So let's say if I've already drafted that email and I wanted, to just help me whether it is more useful or how it is, or whether this email needs some more detailing, or just help me with this email. You can do that as well. It can help you coach as well. So now what I'll do is I draft with Copilot. So what you can see here is you will see the different options. First, the tone, like in which tone you want this email to be drafted in, the length. This is important. At times, we end up generating a long content in the email, which probably the other person has to read through, right? So just keep in mind that the reason, the purpose of the email, just select the best length. I'll just select the medium one. I want to keep the tone very formal. And let's say I want to write a poem because I'm just submitting it for a poem challenge which is going around in my organization. Generate a poem which has to be submitted in the poem writing challenge happening at my organization. Generate the poem on the theme, time, and its importance. Hit enter. Also, make sure to add scenarios related to time. I am just going to add this much because I had in mind that hey, if I would ever write a poem on time, what all it should include. Just give that all thing in the context in the prompt, and let's wait. Hello, I'm delighted. And see, because we are writing an email, I told the Copilot that I'm going to submit this as part of the challenge, which is going on at my organization. So it has already drafted an email for me. This is for the poem writing challenge. I've composed a poem about its importance. Time is a precious gift, etc., etc. It is a healer. Has it added any scenarios? Need to use it wisely, enjoy it, etc. It has given me a good response, but it didn't add the real life scenarios where time has tested some people, right? So we need to give that context to it. Whatever you have in mind, that hey, I want this has to be generated in such a way, give that in the prompt, and it will just help you get the response in a more elaborative format. Now, anything you would like to change? Add some useful, some scenarios of the people where they were challenged, where time challenged them, and still they did not give up. Okay? Something on the motivational side, just regenerate, and we'll see whether now it is able to, oh, it is can't generate high quality content for this, but let's just work with it. Or maybe this is kind of, if you hit generate, let's see still. I think it should. No, it is not able to generate. Maybe it needs some more. The prompt is not that correct, and it is not able to generate that high quality content. But it's fine. Nevertheless, we are still able to work with uh, something around it. But keep in mind that whenever you write the prompt, as I mentioned, your goal, expectation, and context should be given so that it generates the best response. Now, here in the email, I've just given the example of writing poem, which I'm submitting, but you can write an email to any of your stakeholders. You can write an email for following up. It will give some template to you, and then you can feed in the information as per whatever you require. And once you are done, you can just keep it and just review it whenever you get the information which is generated from Copilot. Never ever use it straight away. Just review that information once, add the information which is missing, like signature is missing, some context, some greetings are missing, add that and then send it. So Copilot just helps you give that, helps you be more productive in terms of giving you this information, but you have to add on more layers to it so that it looks like this is now legit good content which can be floated around. Okay, so those things you have to maintain. Now, this covers a Copilot across your all the apps and services, which I could show. And as I already told, that hey, this is kind of the Copilot which I've already generated. I need the coaching by Copilot. It is analyzing my email. It will check the tone, clarity, etc., and then it will give me some feedback. So it has given me some feedback that the tone, the sentiment, the clarity, add more enthusiasm, capture readers' attention. These all were missing. Rhymes and rhythm, revise it. So this is a nice feature. I mean, it is giving you the coaching on your already drafted email. You can do that, or you can ask Copilot to draft on its own. So two things you can do. Apart from that, you can also summarize it. So these all capabilities you can get in Copilot from Outlook. Coming to the another important thing which I want don't want to miss, which is sharing the Copilot. That is important. Share your best prompts. So now, as I already mentioned, so sharing is a very good thing which you can do. Either it can be sharing your code source or prompts or anything. But why you should share your prompt story? So let's say I've generated a draft, just like I generated a coffee bean PowerPoint presentation. Now maybe this exact thing some coffee vendor is looking for, but he or she doesn't know how to draft Copilot prompts. Maybe their regional language is different. They want to generate it in some different language, but they can still utilize this prompt. We can write prompts in multiple languages as well, but this can still be kind of used as a template, right? We use templates in PowerPoint, Word. Using that template, we add in our data. So prompts can act as your template, wherein maybe you can just add the vendor name as variable, etc. You can do that. while the context, the intent remains the same. So you can share that. And whenever you are sharing your Copilot prompts, make sure that what you were trying to accomplish, you just add these elements into your story. So that the other person who is going to utilize it knows that why this prompt was created, for what reason, what was the goal behind it, etc. So what were you trying to accomplish? The actual prompt which you gave, description of the prompt, whatever that prompt was created about, how Copilot specifically helped you. Maybe it saved you your time or produced something which was beyond your reach, etc. What you learned, reflections of your experience, or what you will try to achieve next. And this will help be kind. This will be kind of an encouragement for others to give this same prompt a try. Or maybe you never know, that other person ends up creating the more structured prompt which you weren't able to do. So that is how sharing creates a more learning atmosphere across you and your teammates or organization. So make sure that you share your prompt stories or you contribute your prompts to the open source environment as well. So this is the utmost important part which I wanted to share about sharing your prompts. I think I covered the demonstration as well. And thank you so much for hearing out. I'm there for taking up your questions. But I appreciate if you also start creating your prompts. And until and unless you write those prompts, you will never understand the beauty of Copilot, because it is not about saying, it is about implementing. So let's see if there are any questions which I can take up. Any questions, anyone?
I th- I think Shruti, somebody was raising the hand. Give me a
Oh,
second.
okay.
I
Maybe if
think
you can
Nilesh,
just type
Nilesh,
in.
Nilesh, 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 you can unmute yourself and ask.
Yeah,
Yes,
anything
Shruti,
is
yeah.
fine.
Thank you. Thanks for notifying. So, for understanding purpose, I'm just asking the question as you
Hmm.
share your co-pilot things. So, I just want to curious on that. What is your thought? What is basically language they are using to develop the things? And when we hit the particular sentence or question, so
Hmm.
where the query actually goes, how to process the data in the background side, how to respond in a faster way. What is
Okay.
basically architect they are actually designed? Do you have any idea on that from the development perspective I'm thinking out?
Yeah.
And
So basically, if you ask me, whatever you're seeing as part of Copilot here, I showcase just the end user perspective, how you can go ahead and utilize already built Copilots. So now, when you ask me about Copilot architecture, for that you have to go to Azure OpenAI. So these all Copilots are built using some model. Either it can be GPT 3.5, GPT 4, GPT Turbo. There are different kind of models which are created as part of, these are LLMs. There are few SLMs and few other models created by Hugging Face, etc. So let's say if you are looking for a scenario, maybe for your organization use case or your custom use case, you can utilize either those existing models which are created as part of, which is given by Microsoft, either 35 4 or DALI or Whisper, just like any of the cognitive service model. When I talk about translation, right, we use cognitive service translator model, and then we feed in our data, train that model, and utilize it either using API endpoints key or using SDKs. If you're asking me about Copilot, Copilot is built using Azure OpenAI, and Azure OpenAI is you consuming large language models, which are GPT-based model. And if you want to train, or if you want to, these are already fine-tuned ones. Okay, so these are already trained ones, and we are utilizing it. If you have the custom